An enormous match for these two countries, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea. They had a press conference yesterday. Let's check out what the respective coaches had to say.
For coming. Before I start, let me congratulate the two teams. From New Zealand on my right, congratulations for reaching the final, and from my left, Papua New Guinea, congratulations for reaching the final. The tough challenge. Tomorrow will be a big day.
We, of course, know we are facing a very tough opponent in New Zealand, and it'll be tough for us. But hopefully, we can make it a bit tough for New Zealand too.
For me, similar to quite a few of the teams in this competition, I feel the best players. I think one's probably sat there, the captain. I think he's a good player. And then you've got 3 or 4 players up front who are, athletic and they can hurt you, and got some ability up there. So there's definitely some real threats that we know about.
This time we've come with a team. The Gaffer's got us organised, tactically aware of what we need to do, game plans, everything. No stones being left unturned.
I have to say, I've worked with actually rather many national teams. I've never had such a committed team that I have now here in Papua New Guinea. Not to blame David or anybody else. I've had more skillful players. We've had in Denmark players on absolutely world top level, but I've never had a squad so committed to what they want to achieve as with those guys here in P&D.
David, just over your right shoulder is the OFC Nations Cup. How much do you want it?
Just have to wait for tomorrow. We want it.
The OFC Nations Cup final just moments away. Papua New Guinea taking on New Zealand. It's the host nation against the red-hot favourites. And the prize, a place at the FIFA Confederations Cup in Russia next year. It's a final where the trophy is almost a happy secondary consideration in many ways, but the prize means so much to so many in both countries. 43 years since the first final, 8 finals played, and Sir John Geiss has been built in that time. 2 other stadiums have also gone up. These pictures being beamed around the world, New Zealand, Australia and the Pacific. This match means a lot to the individuals involved, to the nations involved. So much riding on this game financially and most importantly for sporting reasons. New Zealand top Group B with a 100% record, which they continued into the semi-finals. Papua New Guinea had to contend with New Caledonia and Tahiti, 2 teams with experience of reaching finals, and it was a tight section. What's gone before matters little on a day like today. I'm Gordon Watson, and calling the action alongside me is Fred de Jong. Fred, it's a big occasion. It's an enormous match for both countries.
Oh, absolutely, and for New Zealand, especially so. I think it's New Zealand's focus is probably further afield towards the Intercontinental Playoff, which they've contested in the last two cycles, and this is a key part of their build-up to that target. For Papua New Guinea, they have absolutely surprised to be in the final. Obviously, they'll want to lift that trophy there in about an hour and a half, or maybe a little more if it goes to extra time. But for them, it's part of this rich development that they've managed to build over the last 4 or 5 years now.
Well, Papua New Guinea will be hoping to create more history by winning their first final, and New Zealand have suffered from a string of historical setbacks in this competition, and they can wipe away some memories of 4 years ago and truly step up a gear in the Anthony Hudson era. The national anthems about to be played, God Defend New Zealand and O Arise All You Sons of Papua New Guinea.
now the national anthem of Papua New Guinea.
Well, the emotion apparent on the faces of both teams. And an enormous occasion for both. By the time we finish here this afternoon, one of these teams will be at the FIFA Confederations Cup next year. And only two emotions can be experienced on a day like this. It's either despair or elation. And there were only 700 tickets available as of last night. A lot of these have been comps, I would hazard a guess. The stand to the left of the commentary position is slowly filling. The one to the right, not so much, but both main stands here at Sir John Guy Stadium looking very full. The referee for this one comes from Tahiti. He's familiar to us and will be to you. Norbert Hoata, 37 years of age. The assistants Tavita Makasini of Tonga and Philippe Ravel, also of Tahiti, and Kadir Zatuni of Tahiti is the fourth official. Read some determination on the faces of the participants.
Oh, absolutely. You expect nothing less, wouldn't you? It's this Papua New Guinean side. Expect them just to come out all guns blazing, especially if they have the wind at their back. As we said in the pre-match, it's the wind is very strong, and the team that plays with it in the first 45 minutes is going to have to make good use of it and capitalize on it, and they'll be looking to get goals on the board by half-time. I think this is a key part of the game. The toss, whoever wins the toss, you'd expect them to play with the wind and really put the pressure on.
I think that's abundantly clear, which direction New Zealand will play in, and that means the wind will be at their backs.
So first job done for Rory Fallon as captain to win the toss.
Let's have a look at the two lineups for you, beginning first of all with New Zealand. There are some key changes here to report. Costa Barbarouses and Monty Patterson are thrown into the action, so is Louis Fenton. No room for Tiarafai Hatsuwihongi. As ever, it's a 4-4-2 formation on paper, but it has been operating as a 5-3-2. And that is a very strong side and likely to cause some issues for Papua New Guinea with a bit of pace up front through Barbarouses. Papua New Guinea don't deviate too much. They have kept Emmanuel Simon in the team. Jacob Sabo is the player who has missed out here, but otherwise coach Fleming Seretslev has gone with what he knows. Ganemba, Semi and Dabanyaba are the threats, but so too Michael Foster, and the two Comalong brothers will not have to contend with Chris Wood, but this is a new experience for each of them. Only Daniel Joe and Korieku Painga played in the corresponding fixture 4 years ago in Honiara. Can Papua New Guinea live with the pressure of an expectant crowd? We make it to be somewhere between 12 and 14,000 in the stadium, which matches the attendance for the gold medal match in the Pacific Games for the women's football that Papua New Guinea won last year. Well, we had a chat before the game started, Fred, about how the match might open up, and it almost opened up exactly how you saw it.
Yeah, we're expecting New Zealand to try and force the issue, play the ball deep, and try and win a very quick throw in a handy position so that Bill Tuiloma could get forward, whip in his long throw that we've seen so often in this tournament so far. And this is these 45 minutes are massive for the hopes of Papua New Guinea. They have to try and pin New Zealand back a bit, because any balls played forward by New Zealand are going to end up pretty deep, you'd expect, with the wind at their back. And talking to Fleming Seretslev yesterday at the press conference, one thing he wanted to do was for his Papua New Guinean side to really press high, so that when New Zealand were delivering their long balls, that they were delivering from really deep positions, so that they weren't landing in and around the Papua New Guinean 18-yard box.
We can see how the wind affected the kick out from Ronald Warasan. And New Zealand will be happy to see that ball roll out and the chance to set up a long throw in. They got good traction from this in the group stage against Vanuatu. The variation sees Boxall forward with Fallon. Chris Wood stolen at the back post from one of these against Vanuatu and scored. He was unmarked. Can New Zealand draw first blood in the OFC Nations Cup final? Helped on, and very good touch from Rory Fallon. And you can see exactly what the plan is.
Casey, he's throwing with one hand. You can see the spin put on the ball by Tuiloma, flicked on by Fallon, exactly what they're playing for. Fallon and Michael Boxall just standing on the goal line and then popping off there for the flick on. Again, New Zealand very quick to press as Papua New Guinea look to play out.
Well, Brotherton with two hands on Emmanuel Simon. It's resulted in a free kick. Taken quickly, Simon. Painga. New Zealand pressing intelligently. No options for Painga. There is that press you were talking about. Solomon Islands approached this particular conundrum in a different way. They were quite content to sit back on the edge of their penalty area to try to force New Zealand to play more with the ball on the deck. A high risk by Fleming Seretslev, Fred?
No, I think especially for the first half, you can they'll be looking to do this again to force those long balls to be played from deep. And interesting, in the first occasion we saw when Papua New Guinea had the ball trying to build up, New Zealand were forcing them inside. So Koreaku Painga had the ball, they forced them inside. What New Zealand don't want Papua New Guinea to do is to play the balls down the line to the likes of Semi on one side, Dabin Yaba on the other. You want to force them inside where all the traffic is, and then pick up the balls like here.
Well worked by New Zealand. Boosted forward by Colby. Fallon. Felix Comlong's clearance. Tuiloma's header. Now Mutta. Lynchie's won that. Felix Comlong. And New Zealand, through Patterson, we're looking to try and find a way between Owen Comlong and Koreaku Painga. No success. McGlinchey, Patterson. Well, it's a real tussle and battle in there. There's McGlinchey. He had to really try to dig that one out, didn't he, Fred?
Well, that second phase ball is crucial this afternoon. Saw both sides really going hammer and tongs in that midfield area. I think with the changes that New Zealand have made, they've probably got a little bit more mobility. The likes of Costa Barbarouses up front, replacing Chris Wood, and Monty Patterson in for Luka Prelevic. I think in those two changes, there's probably a bit more mobility and probably a little bit more guile, I would say, as well.
There is a school of thought that trying to prize Alwyn Comalong and Corey Kapainga apart might be the way to go. Some of the other teams like the Solomon Islands and New Caledonia tried to do that. And as you say, with Costa Barbarouse's pace, may be able to exploit it.
Well, to date in the tournament, New Zealand haven't really shown that they wanted the ball wide and then deliver balls, deliver crosses in from free play. It's mainly been play into the corners to win a free kick, to then deliver crosses in once they've got their big players up into the penalty area. And we'll see a lot of this, I think, in the first half, especially. Lovely by Muta. I think the ball throw-ins just laid down the line and onto the head of Rory Fallon, and then he'll flick those inside and try and flick it into Costa Barbarouses. Norbert Duarte having a stern word with Costa after his challenge in the back on David Muta.
Yeah, we can see here Costa Barbarouses coming in from behind. And to Norbert Duarte's credit, he's just having a word with players at this early stage of the cup final. Certainly if he gets cards out pretty early, it doesn't give him too many places to go as the game rolls on. So well, I think that was more a cross into the box and an effort on goal, but the crowd appreciated it. Long ball from Marinovic. Alwyn Comalong's won it. Well, the stand to our left is really getting full, so maybe, just maybe, the attendance here today will be more than that speculated 12,000, 13,000. So Tui Loma with a long throw. Boxall's forward. Fallon is forward, of course. Lynchy there, Barbarouses there. Around the penalty mark, looking for any second ball, but Michael Foster gets there first. Boxall stayed forward. So there you see the Papua New Guinea high line against the directness of the New Zealand distribution from the goalkeeper.
And you also saw as Boxall went up for that ball straight away, Barbarouses in behind, looking to get beyond the defenders.
David Muta. That's a good ball by Muta. Foster lets it run on for Upainga. Simon, well, he's turned into trouble there. McGlinchey doing well. Barbarouses pulling wide on the right against Upainga. Patterson to his left. Fenton with the overlap. And it's picked off by Tommy Semi. You don't often see him operating in the left-back position. Now Daniel Joe. He has a lot of room to exploit it on the right, but the distribution was poor. These teams have met 4 times. Inevitably, we can explore the history of that. First time they met was here in Port Moresby, 31st of May 1997. Papua New Guinea won by a goal to nil. Goal by Francis Niakuam. New Zealand beat Papua New Guinea in the return game 7-0 on the 11th of June at North Harbour Stadium. Hat-trick to Vaughan Coveney, 2 for Winton Rufer, 1 for Simon Elliott, and a 7th for the team scored by Tim Stevens. They met again 5 years later. New Zealand won 9-1. And New Zealand won 2-1 in Honiara 4 years ago. Here's the free kick by McGlinchey. Good communication between Warasan and Elwyn Comalong. Brotherton hoists it forward, looking for Barbarousis.
I'd like to see New Zealand just up the tempo a little bit, especially even on the set plays. Like it's all very pedestrian, and I think, you know, with the wind at their back, they've got to take advantage of it. So just picking the tempo up of the game in the first half. Probably a smarter thing. And Papua New Guinea, they seem to be they're rushing to get the ball and get it back in play, when really for them they should almost be time wasting till half time.
Not so sure that's in the Papua New Guinea football DNA. There's a swipe from Felix Comalong that good work from Monty Patterson. That's a fine job by the New Zealand forward. Another chance for Bill Tuiloma to cause havoc. The Papua New Guinea 6-yard box. Everybody back in the Papua New Guinea half, even Raymond Ganemba, who's not so far away from the edge of his own penalty area. Here's Tuiloma, big chance for New Zealand from this. And Tuiloma's throw affected by the wind. It is quite a significant factor. We can't understate that. Brings an advantage, but also requires careful calibration from set plays, as you saw there.
It's a big battle. Dabanyaba up against Kip Colvey. Dabanyaba already seen tremendous pace. Front three for Papua New Guinea. Dabanyaba, Semi and Ganemba, all very quick players, very skillful players. The key area for Fleming Seretslev. It's especially Dabanyaba and Semi. Get them wide, isolate, and then just allow them the freedom to take players on.
Papua New Guinea with a throw-in opportunity of their own. Popped on by Semi, that's away by Luke Adams. So it's an interesting test for New Zealand.
The long throw's becoming back in vogue, isn't it?
Well, you can probably see a stream of people walking in. The stand to the right, just behind Stefan Marinovic's goal, is starting to fill up. So, we may well be on course for capacity crowd, which is good to see. It's a big occasion, continental final. Fleming Seretslev has 1-1 already. Back in 1992 with Denmark, and a Confederations Cup. First 15 minutes elapsed. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0.
I think Papua New Guinea and Fleming seriously will be ecstatic with the way this has panned out already. Haven't really been put under pressure by the New Zealand attack. They've had 65% of the ball. They're the ones who are trying to get the ball down on the deck and knock it across the park, play from side to side.
Well, Michael Boxall's complaining that Tommy Semi backed into him. Boxall with a powerful headed clearance. Fallon for McGlinchey. Fast break on for New Zealand. Barbarousis. Nobody's picked up Monty Patterson here on the left of Barbarousis until now. Boxall and Fallon clear targets. Some pushing and shoving going on between Alwyn Comalong and Michael Boxall. It's wound in, away by Felix. Comalong's not a great clearance. Colby. Well, the volley opportunity results in a goal kick. Just couldn't keep it down.
And again, the second phase ball. Papua New Guinea have to be careful that, yes, they win the first header, but they need to have bodies on the edge of the box for exactly that occurrence. Fortuitously for them, it fell to Kip Colby, rather than possibly some other of the All Whites technically better or more proficient players. I'd like to see Monty Patterson get on the ball, get the ball to his feet. Likewise, Costa Barbarousis. But just at the moment, it's playing out in a very similar fashion to the last game we saw between New Zealand and New Caledonia. Sort of moving from set play to set play.
Yeah, there's a real stop-start feel to this already. Fallon in there, Boxall in there. McGlinchey and Barbarousis lingering at the far post. And Alwyn Comalong concedes a corner. Well, Ronald Warasan conceded a goal direct from a corner against the Solomon Islands in the semi-final. Was bent into the near post. He and David Mutta inspired to bundle the ball over the line. What can New Zealand produce in the way of pressure here? PNG stay strong. McGlinchey, Felix Comalong's header is a good one. Foster. Now a chance for Papua New Guinea on the counter attack. It's 3 against 2. There was a chance for Semi to lay the ball off to the right, but he held on to it. And now a crunching challenge. A poor challenge by Tommy Semi. Very poor challenge. And quite rightly, it results in a yellow card.
Yeah, challenge from behind here by Semi. And he collects Bill Tuiloma and stops any potential breakaway. And that's a worry for Papua New Guinea, as Tommy Semi has already been sent off for 2 yellow cards in this tournament in the second match. And now he sits after 20 minutes on a yellow card. It was a good break by Papua New Guinea. New Zealand had to work incredibly hard to get bodies back.
Well, he cost them 3 points in the first round in the group stage when he got sent off.
Cost him a lot more today if he gets himself sent off.
Brotherton has a look over the shoulder. He had Raymond Ganemba herring in on him. Semi. David Mutta, Upanga. Upanga again, it's well blocked. Play continues, Alwyn Comalong picks it up for Upanga with a nutmeg, but there's a foul by Louis Fenton on Korea Upanga.
Nice touch from Upanga there, straight through the legs of Patterson, and gets pulled back by Fenton. But you're seeing those glimpses. Papua New Guinea more comfortable just to try some things already.
Semi has given away a free kick. When he's in this mood, he's something of a liability potentially. Exciting to watch when he's got the ball at his feet and he's running at defenders, but sometimes his head gets lost in the narrative of a fixture, and he is capable of doing things that put his team under pressure. Adams. Brotherton hoists it forward straight to Emmanuel Simon.
You saw there the press from Papua New Guinea. Not dealt well with by Brotherton. The ball came, he could see Dabanyaba just bearing down on him and just happy to hoik it up into the air.
A long ball from Papua New Guinea, and now Adams does well. He does very well. Fenton. Play continues. He got bundled off the ball. Simon. Ganemba. He does a lot of sterling defensive work. Raymond Ganemba. Oh, and there's a slip by Upanga. Papua New Guinea just getting pressed themselves and struggling to cope with that.
Oh, willing from both sides, isn't it? Players throwing their bodies in, trying to shield the ball. Patterson was in there, Upanga's in there. Barbarouses with the flick. Comalong comes across to help out. Eventually it's a free kick to Papua New Guinea. You do get a sense that if New Zealand can break up the Papua New Guinea and play in the middle of the park and counter-attack very quickly through the pace of Barbarouses, there is an opportunity there. They're not really getting any reward at the moment from just knocking it long, because the two Comalong brothers have a lot of height at the back and they're dealing with that quite comfortably at the moment.
It's a style of football they'll be familiar with. They have played in New Zealand, although at a regional level.
At the whole country.
Well, Northern League can be the killing fields of football. I don't think there'll be too many disagreements with that. But they are used to a physical game. That being the point. Now, 4 players forward for Papua New Guinea. Rinovich barking orders at his defence. Everybody back for New Zealand. What can Semi produce from the free kick? They need a bit of quality, the host nation. Away by Adams. Very good header too. Oh, Mutta. He just paused now. McGlinchey tries to set Barbarouses away. It's got, well, was worth pursuing Barbarouses. We saw Ronald Warasan have a problem with that type of situation in the OFC Champions League with his club, Lay City Dwellers. Racing off his line, he's got the capacity for the extraordinary and eccentric.
Just got to say, that time New Zealand had 11 players back, and Papua New Guinea with 4 up. So I think New Zealand could have the luxury of maybe leaving a couple of players forward, because when they did burst, there was only McGlinchey and Barbarouses.
Well, there's a problem here for Louis Fenton. He's got a yellow card.
Yeah, this ball's bobbled up, and David Muta's gone for the header. He's collided with Louis Fenton. Norbert Huada's given a yellow card there. Both players pretty much going for the ball at the same time, so maybe a harsh call on the New Zealand defender. Coming at right back. Allowed Michael Boxall to push across into the space vacated by Themi Zimopoulos.
This should be meat and drink for Brotherton. Nigel Davanyaba, and that's a handball. Support is still streaming into the stadium. Half an hour in. Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0. OFC Nations Cup Final 2016. Goodness me.
That's poor from Marinovic. Really poor, just putting that over the sideline on the full. Need better delivery than that.
Acrobatic clearance by Daniel Joe. Patterson.
Again, good work from Patterson. Anticipated the square ball inside.
No foul. So Iloma with a long-range shot. Well, it was ambitious to say the least, but he felt it was worth a go.
This is the end of the move that Patterson had done well. To Iloma, only 35 metres out there. And, well, they won the semi-final with a howler from the keeper, so maybe they were thinking, let's test Warasan as well.
Painga. Well, that's a tough one for Daniel Joe. Does all right, however. And this is good from Papua New Guinea. Semi. Michael Foss has made a run just in behind Fenton. Semi may fancy. Oh, it is getting, but still going. Well, they need to be more careful with the ball than that. Oh, well, Fenton. Well, it's been scrappy, hasn't it, Fred?
Fenton too slow, just gets dispossessed now. Papua New Guinea opportunity to get forward.
There's a cross from Upainga. Dabanyaba needed to be more patient then.
Upainga is starting to push forward now. Dabanyaba, say Gordon, needs patience. Peel out. Just rotate the ball again. But you can see Papua New Guinea trying to get the ball into wide areas and play down the lines. Serit Slev is also talking with him. When they win the ball, what he wants them to do is play the ball forward, if at all possible. So they are a very positive team, They do like to, win the ball, play forward, and also stream forward, get numbers beyond the ball, and really make it difficult for opposition teams.
Brotherton. Colvey flipping it forward for McGlinchey. Barbarouses is looking for the ball in behind Felix Comelong. Tuiloma prepares to catapult this ball into the penalty area, targeting Rory Fallon. Boxall's forward. It's the usual suspects in white.
Players will be looking into the sun as well here.
Daniel Joe, that's cannoned off his shoulder, I think. Well, there are no full-time professionals in the Papua New Guinea team. Bulk of these players play in the domestic competition, the National Soccer League, for Hikari United and Lay City Dwellers. It's a big rivalry there. There's a terrible goal kick. Rory Fallon fancies this, has a shot, and as we've seen in this tournament at various points, sometimes it's worth a go. Patterson. Barbarouses against Upainga. Comelong. Elwin Comelong. Now Ganemba. Semi. Oh, that's well played by Luke Adams. Very well played. Had to be very careful before he committed.
Again, Patterson running at defenders, which probably one of the few Kiwi players that are doing that, and it is causing Papua New Guinea problems.
Here's McGlinchey's free kick. Throw in for New Zealand. Oh, Bill Tuiloma taking his good sweet time ambling over.
He's in no hurry, is he?
Well, it just breaks up that momentum.
You'd think
Papua New Guinea.
33 minutes, they've got the wind. You'd think they'd be wanting to just play the game at a little bit of a higher tempo, especially with the conditions.
So another long throw opportunity for New Zealand via Tuiloma. Well, there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on in there. Felix Comelong is getting a lecture from Norbert Hoata. No more thanks. That's a dangerous one. Warasan, well, that's what I was talking about. Eccentric, unconventional. He caught the ball at waist height.
He was lucky there. He misjudged that. Warasan.
Foss has got the wrong side of Tuiloma. It's a card for him. And he can have few complaints. Bill Tuiloma again on the receiving end of some physical treatment.
Now again, Foster's battling away against Tuiloma. McGlinchey, the ball's bouncing around, and then he has a wild swing, and that's a definite yellow card. Bill Tuiloma becoming a bit of a target for the Papua New Guinean players.
Benton's pushed high up on the right. Boxall using his strength to retain possession. He's done well, Michael Boxall. Now possibilities for New Zealand through Patterson. Well, that was a bit of a risk taken there, that tackle, although it was clean. Going from the side these days, you often attract the ire of the match official.
That's where Papua New Guinea have to be careful as they play out. They do well to win the ball. They have an overload down the side. They just have to be really accurate in the way they play those overloads. You can't afford a sloppy pass in these sort of situations. You need to be really clean with your delivery, clean with your passing. Otherwise, New Zealand can counter-attack quickly.
Fred, Raymond Ganema's having to come very short to get involved with play. What's your perspective on that? He hasn't played as deep, if you like, in the previous games.
No, he hasn't, and I think that's a factor of the wind as well. And I think if Papua New Guinea can get to half-time at 0-0, I think they will be immensely happy with that. Because in the second half, then you will have the likes of Ganema being able to stay forward, much more forward than he is at the moment.
Colvey. Patterson. McGlinchey. That's a lovely cutback. Colvey. What's he got in terms of a cross? Koriaku Painga picked the pocket of Rory Fallon, but great work by New Zealand down the left.
Well, by far and away the best move that New Zealand have constructed probably in the last 2 games. And Colvey, terrific run there and great defending by Upainga. Stayed alert, didn't commit himself too early, and as the cross came across, stepped inside and stepped in front of Rory Fallon. But for New Zealand supporters, they'd want to see more of that sort of play.
Way by Mutta. Only as far as Brotherton to Iloma. Well, it's good work by Nigel Dabanyaba. Well, Dabanyaba says it came off to Iloma, but Nobe Hawata very confidently giving it to New Zealand. Dabanyaba. Now an opportunity on the break, led by Emmanuel Simon. Boxall's taking a tumble. Simon's still going. He's held up just on the edge. Dabanyaba. Long range shot. Good save by Marinovic. Goodness me. We watched Nigel Dabanyaba shooting during the warm-up and everything hit the target. Hasn't been the case in the competition, but he was bang on there. And another fine save by the New Zealand goalkeeper to add to his fine performance during the competition.
And a terrific counter-attack by Papua New Guinea. And wasted there just then by Michael Foss. That's so dumb, so stupid. You've got New Zealand, you've forced them back, then you give away a stupid free kick like that. But great work by Nigel Dabanyaba. And Emmanuel Simon, what a terrific run from him. Was patient, didn't force the ball left or right, waited and waited, and then the opportunity was for Dabanyaba to rip his shot away.
Five minutes to go in the first half. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0. Lots of space on the right. There's 4 forward for New Zealand. Good numbers forward for them. McGlinchey stolen in around the back, but can't latch on to Patterson's cross.
I think that ball's got to go into the striker. He played down the line, come inside. That's where Rory Fallon has to offer himself as a target, knock it in, get it back, and then play through the defence. Just there's no real guile in that. Ball over the top for McGlinchey to run onto.
Well, Nigel Dabanyaba guilty of a bit of showboating, turning possession over. And that's well played by Felix Comelong. He's the youngest player in the couples team, just 19 years age. Good win by Brotherton, sets up Patterson. Now Boxall can. Oh, and he's been dispossessed. Now a chance for Papua New Guinea, maybe. Well, it was ponderous from New Zealand, and equally so by Papua New Guinea when they got the opportunity. Well, that ball flicked on by Fallon. There was no one running off him.
Good press by New Zealand there. Equally good by Papua New Guinea. Offside flag goes up.
Well, Monty Patterson's saying to Norbert Hoata, look, were you playing us an advantage there? For the third significant foul on Tuiloma today. Foster beats Adams. Now Daniel Joe. He's got a very good cross, Daniel Joe. New Zealand would be best pleased to ensure that he didn't get one over. They've got a corner though.
And it's a sign of the growing confidence of the Papua New Guinea side. You see Daniel Joe overlapping, getting well forward. Just a couple of minutes to go before the break. Game just starting to open up a little bit.
So we're in the 44th minute. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0. OFC Nations Cup final. Wound in, and Marinovic punches. He had the sun in his eyes. And now a chance for New Zealand. Barbarousis. Elwyn Comelong fighting him all the way. And kept in by Mutta. Foster. Well, belief is growing in the ranks of the home team and their supporters. It's possibly an overload here. Ganemba keeps his run going, but the ball by Emmanuel Simon was on a different wavelength altogether.
Yeah, needed to go left, didn't he? Oh, what a foot race, though, between Comelong and Barbarousis. A fantastic sliding tackle by Comelong. And there you saw a real graphic example of how positive that Papua New Guinea are when they win the ball. Comelong wasn't happy just to hook that one out. They the back heel on the sideline kept it alive, and then they looked really positively to get the ball into forward positions.
Well, New Zealand have done a very good job on pressing Korea Upainga.
Yeah, he's looked sluggish, hasn't he, Upainga? And the best chances for New Zealand have come down their right-hand flank, as we see here.
Well, no foul. I thought that looked a good case. Now Papua New Guinea can hurt New Zealand here. Nigel Dabanyaba.
What were you saying? He was hitting them before the game.
Bang on target. But I tell you what, when he has missed them in the competition, he's missed them exactly like that. Going for a near post shot.
Absolutely.
And threatening our cameraman in that edifice behind the goal.
Another quick counter attack by Papua New Guinea. The pace they've got here, the ball bobbling around. You see the ball bouncing up and down across the surface.
So 1 minute additional time to be played at the end of the first half in the Nations Cup final. This is the 9th OFC Nations Cup final. There have been 10 competitions, but the 2008 competition was a round-robin event played over the course of 10 months. Barbarouses. Offside flag's gone up.
That's good defending by Papua New Guinea. Possibly McGlinchey dwelt on the ball a little bit too long, maybe one touch too many. But Papua New Guinea, they had the confidence to hold their line and allow Costa Barbarouses to get himself offside.
Michael Foster. Tuiloma does a good job on Foster. Upinga. Ganemba. On and now a chance for Upinga. The cross is in and great take by Marinovic. Nervous moments for New Zealand as the first half comes to a conclusion. A compelling first 45 minutes. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0. It's been tight, it's been broken up by a stop-start momentum, but there is enough in this first half to suggest that both teams will feel they can get on the score sheet in the second half.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Papua New Guinea have given as good as they've got in this first 45 minutes, and we are set for a cracking second half here in Port Moresby.
45 minutes to find a winner. Oceania's representative at the FIFA Confederations Cup is yet unknown, but well, somebody will have to do it, and somebody will have to do it sometime in the next period. And Tommy Semi, well, he's past Boxall. Tommy Semi cuts it back, Ganemba. Oh, dear me. A big opportunity for Papua New Guinea.
Well, right there you can see the threat of Tommy Semi up against a quality player like Michael Boxall, and a player with tremendous pace as well. And he showed him a clean pair of heels. Look at that, look at the strength. And then the outside of the foot. Good work from Brotherton to get across. But an exciting opening to the second half from Papua New Guinea. And now New Zealand. This has probably been their most attacking weapon, the long throw.
Well, we said that this could be a key point of the game for New Zealand if they can score just after the restart. There's Tuiloma's throw. Opportunity here with Colby, but not on target.
Again, the ball falls to Colby in the second phase. But I think for New Zealand, I'd love to see them start trying to get the ball down and try and play around and through this Papua New Guinean side. Just at the moment there, or through that first half, they've been too happy just to knock it over the top and hope there's a flick on, or hope that the ball drops kindly for them. Well, I think the time for hoping that that's going to work may have passed, and maybe playing into the wind, it'll force them to get it down and look to combine with each other. The one time they did do it, they actually looked very good.
Well, Anthony Hudson barking orders from the sideline, picking every ball of this Nations Cup final. Pine has given that straight to Patterson. Barbarouses. Patterson somehow can't get the ball out of his feet. Now, Semi against Boxall. And he's past him. And it's a free kick.
And yellow.
And a yellow card for Michael Boxall. Twice inside the first 2.5 minutes. Tommy Semi has shown Boxall a clean pair of heels.
And this doesn't look good for Papua New Guinea. Tommy Semi looks like this one may have hurt him. Boy, he's quick. He got around, just got his foot in front here, tapped it round, and then took the hit from Michael Boxall. As you say, 2 and 2 minutes, where that exactly what Papua New Guinea are looking for. They isolate the defender one-on-one, use their pace to get round the back. Worrying times for Fleming Seritslev. Seeing Tommy Semi laid out on the side of the pitch. Boy, well, New Zealand need that man, and he's been great through this tournament. Stefan Marinovic, a fantastic tournament, kept his side in games.
There's a bit of frustration creeping in. Norbert Hoata is having a running dialogue with Michael McGlinchey, I think that is. Here's Simon. Hainger, Simon. Semi back in the action. Papua New Guinea have their full complement.
I think a key for Papua New Guinea is not to overcommit. There is a tendency when they win the ball to flood players forward. I think they just have to play really smart and with a lot of patience.
Guinea for Foster. New Zealand funneling back. The shot was a very hopeful one. Patterson against Muta. Wriggle clear. Well, now the game is starting to open up. Foster's given that straight to Brotherton. That's 2 passes on the bounce now from Foster that have failed to find their target.
Rory Fallon not happy with Costa Barbarouses there. He won the flick on. He was expecting Barbarouses to be running beyond him to win the ball. Just a little bit of miscommunication there from the 2 strikers for New Zealand.
Davin Yaba loses out to McGlinchey. Well, New Zealand have rotated their squad as well. They, Anthony Hudson's words, gave their second team an opportunity in the final group match, whereas this Papua New Guinea side is more or less the side that Fleming Seritslev has gone with for the bulk of this competition. So I just wonder how that will play out in the last half of the second half.
Well, Anthony Hudson isn't going to waste any time with making a change. Michael Rojas getting ready on the side of the pitch.
Adams did enough to put Guinea off the ball. Brotherton finds Adams. This is Boxall. Well, he's come up short here again. Now Semi. Oh, that's lovely footwork, but again it was just a little bit too much strength on that pass. And that was an awkward one for Ronald Warasan too. Wilfred, what do you think? This game is starting to open up.
It is absolutely starting to open up.
That might suit Marco Rojas.
I think, definitely suit Marco Rojas.
Oh, and this is interesting for Papua New Guinea. Guinea with a cross off the bar. Goodness me. Well, this substitution is now going to take place. Monty Patterson is being withdrawn. Marco Rojas is coming on, and he's had his problems with injury and has shuffled around Europe since joining Stuttgart a couple of seasons ago. And New Zealand supporters will be hoping that he's got some magic and X factor that he can conjure up here in Port Moresby. Barbarouses. Colby. This will be chested down by Fallon. There's some frustration there between Fallon and Barbarouses. Semi, that's an easy one from Marinovic. Oh, and he's taken out late by Dabanyaba. And he's squaring up to Dabanyaba too. I can understand the goalkeeper's frustration.
The referee running over to have a word with Nigel Dabanyaba. In Papua New Guinea breaking so quickly. It was just the final ball from Tommy Semi. It's overhit. In Hudson looking to make more changes.
Yeah, Jeremy Brockie is preparing to come on. This will be Brockie's 49th cap. And this is where quality and depth start to count. Costa Barbarouses is off. And Brockie, it looks as though, will partner Rory Fallon up front. So although his international goal-scoring record isn't the greatest, his domestic goal-scoring record in South Africa is something to ponder, because he helped guide SuperSport United to a Nedbank Cup win, and New Zealand are looking for the OFC Nations Cup and a ticket to Russia. 10 minutes of the second half gone. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0. Could the script be written for Brockie? Well, Foster's gone down in a heap. There are 2 balls on the pitch.
He's got this one in the back. Michael Foster. But again, it was, you can see the idea from Fleming Seritslev, the PNG coach, forcing the ball. Oh, he got it in the backside, I think. But forcing Marinovic to kick from deep and try and nullify the effect of this direct approach adopted by New Zealand.
Rojas. Hit Colby. I'm just trying to be a bit too fancy on the ball, Colby. And now Papua New Guinea can rake forward. Adams goes long.
Well, Luke Adams has been very good from a defensive perspective. He's made some really timely interventions. We saw one just there. Possibly just needs to make sure his passing is a little bit more accurate, but you can't fault him for what he's done defensively this afternoon.
He's been a real success for New Zealand in the OFC Nations Cup, Luke Adams.
Within the structures that they've played, with 5 at the back and him being virtually a sweeper, I think he's performed well. Would still like to see him in a back 4 though, because obviously that's more of a test.
So Tui Loma with a long throw. Warrison's come for it, and Daniel Joe got there first. Miscontrol by Tui Loma. Now Manuel Simon breaks. Well, how effective can Marco Rojas be when New Zealand is still continuing to play direct? That's got to be something that they solve.
Absolutely. I mean, it takes out everything that Marco Rojas is about, doesn't it? He's seen what Rojas can do when the ball's on the ground. So What New Zealand are looking for now is you've got McGlinchey and Rojas as the two forward midfield players playing off Fallon and Brocky.
Here's Brocky breaking wide on the right against Upainga. Rojas, clever ball inside for McGlinchey. No, sorry, that's Fenton. And a free kick in a very dangerous area for the hosts. And New Zealand will like the look of this.
Rojas there with virtually his first touch. And Fenton does well here because he carries on. And then it's the challenge by Upainga. You see Jeremy Brocky there saying, hey, hang on, mate, Norbert, this one's could have been in the box. But what an opportunity for New Zealand. One of the few times they've had a free kick close to the 18-yard box. And you actually could see this one squared along the ground. You see Rojas there hovering.
A big moment for New Zealand. McGlinchey standing over the ball. Rojas is free to his left if he wants him. Emmanuel Simon is poised and ready between the penalty mark and the 6-yard box to run out. Fell in off the line by Owen Comalong. Papua New Guinea survive. There's arms thrown up in the air by Anthony Hudson in the technical area.
Well, Papua New Guinea defended that really well. But the frustration, I think, from Hudson is that the ball's going to get played out beyond the back post, and now you need someone attacking the goal line. Just like Luke Adams did.
Great football.
Sorry. Just like Nigel Dabanyaba did for Papua New Guinea in the semi-final. The ball went out to the back post, and then he attacked the goal line, and it was a simple tap-in.
Mutta for Simon. Great move this from Papua New Guinea. Brotherton had to be brave against Dabanyaba. And, well, we've had an hour. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0. And there is a card coming out. And it's Kip Colvey.
Well, New Zealand just hesitate. That ball slightly under-hit by Luke Adams. And you can see the athletic ability of Michael Foster. He won't stop for as long as this game has to run, because he has such a big engine in him. We saw that on Wednesday in the semi-final. He was immense in that game.
So Raymond Ganemba, who has 5 goals in the tournament, stands over the ball. There are 4 forward for Papua New Guinea, 3 on the edge of the box. Here's Ganemba. It was accurate, but lacked power, and that's pretty easy for a goalkeeper like Marinovic to take care of.
Well, that's poor decision, that. They're up against the best keeper in the competition, who hasn't really made a mistake the whole tournament. And to think you can just try and sort of guide one in from 30 metres, I think is a little hopeful.
Well, 2 options for Fleming Seretslev from the bench include Werawama and Jacob Sabua. New Zealand don't take the long throw this time, and now Foster against Boxall. Launch forward again. Owen Comalong chests it down. Broker Painga was lucky to find a teammate with that. Well, this is where the All Whites' fitness levels could come into play here. They've been in camp now nearly 40 days, I understand, and the fitness component was a big part of that in the early part of preparation.
And the fact that Anthony Hudson's been able to rotate the squad, as you pointed out before.
Well, Fenton went for the gentle approach. And Papua New Guinea's defence just put their boot clean through it. Well, no, Papua New Guinea have been in camp since mid-April and had 2 friendlies back in March against the Solomons. They won 1 2-1 and lost the other by the same margin. Well played by Owen Comalong. Ever conscious of conceding a throw-in as well.
But again, it's also obvious, isn't it, from the All Whites at the moment. Now they get a throw-in and it's Fenton down the line to Fallon, flicked on to Brocky, and I mean there's nothing in that Papua New Guinea can't handle. They've shown that for 65 minutes. So I'd like to see New Zealand just get the ball, get it and throw it in quickly. They throw it backwards, try and maintain a bit more possession and get it on the ground to use the likes of lovely from Muta.
Well, Alwyn Comalong was daydreaming there. Jeremy Brocky gave him a hurry up and has done well to earn New Zealand a throw-in. 25 minutes of the Nations Cup final to go. We've yet to have a goal here. Brotherton drops it into Colvey, who loses the ball to Simon. It's a good ball by Foster. Ganemba. Michael Foster. Ganemba ahead of him. There's a shot, but more in line with a rugby match than a football one. Michael Boxall's put an arm around the shoulder of Michael Foster.
Again, this is decision making. Look, Raymond Ganemba's got a lovely left foot. And then Foster, well, you're going to have to be a shot like we saw this morning for the French. Pouyet, but was not to be. High wide. They do look good, Papua New Guinea, though, and they do play that one-touch football through the middle part of the field. They back themselves, they back their touch.
Well, you have to remember they've never been in a final, and the big question mark was how would they navigate the narrative of a big occasion. So far, so good, but we're heading in towards the business end now, and teams that win are the teams that hold their nerve under pressure. Tui Loma will launch this into the penalty box to create some pressure. Now, Alwyn Comalong and Michael Boxall are being drawn into a conversation with referee Norbert Hoata.
This is where Warasan can make it very easy on his defenders, though.
Let's see if he does. Goes to the near post. He flails at it. Pong has hooked it clear. Adams bends out into the far post. Brocky is under it. Now Colvey. Well, Felix Comalong and Alwyn Comalong were looking for a flag there. Hasn't been produced, and now some good work here. Cross to the far post. Fallon. Lovely touch from Semi. He's kept it in too. Adams. Alwyn Comalong. Well, Marinovic is out of his box. Brotherton cuts across Ganemba. Here's Simon. Well, he spotted Marinovic off his line and decided to back himself, but Guinea was unmarked on the left-hand side.
Whereas Foster's was rash, this one was actually controlled by Emmanuel Simon. Marinovic had gone very wide, and had it been on target, I still think he would have got back, but Emmanuel Simon possibly could have given him a hurry up with that shot.
Devin Yaba just waited it for the ball to drop, and now he's made a break down the right. Foster, Guinea's racing into the penalty area and comes across, away by Brotherton. Now Colby only as far as Simon. And just too much on the ball for Michael Foster from Devin Yaba.
Tuiloma's got a problem. Bill Tuiloma's cramping up there. So Garifai Hudson-Wehongi's warming up around the back.
Well, belief is growing in the stadium.
Along with Moses Dyer, so not sure. I think it might be Moses Dyer, actually. Who they're getting ready. It is indeed.
Well, players from both teams taking the opportunity to have a drink. 20 minutes to go of the OFC Nations Cup 2016. We haven't had any goals, but we've been on the edge of our seats. Fleming Seretslev, the coach of Papua New Guinea, has won Euro with Denmark, won the Confederations Cup with Denmark, and has built a team that works hard and has bought into his vision of how football should be played. But can they walk through the arch and become champions and book a ticket in Russia? That's a big, big question. The same can be asked of New Zealand. The game is here to be won for them.
And it is Moses Dyer who's getting ready to come on. The only Hunga Sports midfielder. But Bill Tuiloma, be a disappointing tournament for him. Hasn't really imposed himself on matches as possibly as in the past. And what a moment for Moses Dyer. It looks like a bit of a shuffle in the midfield for New Zealand. Dyer's gone forward into an attacking midfield position along with Marco Rojas.
It's a good header by Semi. And, well, Guinea with the rush of blood to the head opted for the spectacular over the pragmatic. Semi from Muta. Trying to go through the legs of Brocky. Has to be careful. He's on a yellow card. Now Rojas is offside.
Well, that's where Papua New Guinea have to be careful. They had good control. They had good possession there, under control, and then they frittered it away in their own half. If they do that, then again it allows New Zealand to do quick counter-attacks, because especially when you look at the personnel they've got on the field at the moment.
Here's Warasan's long ball. Brotherton had to be very precise with the header. Dyer hoists it forward. Fallon gives chase. Still going, the New Zealand skipper, Upainga. Alwyn Comalong. Searches for Semi. Kept out by Boxall. Well,
that's good from Papua New Guinea again. Koriaku Painga, he's under pressure. You're in the last 20 minutes of a final. Brings the ball down, lays it inside and goes for the 1-2. So nice play from the PNG defence.
Semi, Foster. Belief is growing in the stadium that something special could happen here for the host nation. Country of 7.5 million people at the last census. Port Moresby has exploded in economic activity and growth over the last 10 years. Hosted the Pacific Games last year, hosting the Nations Cup and a FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. And no doubt this nation gripped by the spectacle that they're witnessing, and New Zealand supporters will be watching on, transfixed, hopeful that in the next 15 or 16 minutes they can come up with something to get themselves in front. Here's Rojas, the space here on the left. Colby, 4 forward for the All Whites, clipped in by Colby. Brocky, oh, and it was Fallon who just took it out of the vicinity of Marco Rojas.
Yeah, there was a chance for Jeremy Brocky to a volley, actually.
Papua New Guinea on the counter. Ganemba, Foster. Oh, that was a heavy touch by Foster. Now in the transition, New Zealand breaking clear.
And again, it was Papua New Guinea giving the ball away cheaply that puts themselves under pressure here again.
Well, Papua New Guinea's shape is in something of disarray there, but it didn't matter in the end. Well, Papua New Guinea have only failed to score against New Zealand once in the 4 games that the countries have played. 2 of them have been from the penalty spot. The last Nations Cup, there was a goal by Neil Hans. And on the 7th of July 2002, when New Zealand thrashed Papua New Guinea 9-1, Joe Isa scored from the penalty mark. Here's Brocky.
Well, the Comalongs have been good again at the back in those 2 centre-back areas for Papua New Guinea. And given New Zealand any change whatsoever. Well, no Tuiloma. They're taken quickly. Dyer back to Colby. Better from New Zealand. McGlinchey.
Here's Fallon. He's helped it on. Benton. Flag has gone up.
Well, Papua New Guinea have to concentrate. Fallon flicks it on. Fenton needed to stay on side there. You could see right across the defensive line for the last 15 minutes. I'm wondering whether Fleming Seretslev is thinking about some substitutions. His team have played a lot of football the last 2 weeks. A lot of pressure football as well. New Zealand have made all 3 substitutions.
Rory Fallon works the ball back to Louis Fenton, under pressure from Tommy Semi. He's given that ball up. Well won by Boxall for his skipper. Keeps his run going. McGlinchey, Dyer to his left.
Ooh.
There's a pocket of space here on the left-hand side. Colby. Well, referee has spotted something that we didn't see there.
Well, he's He's pulled Jeremy Brockie up for a foul here, holding back one of the defenders and stopping, I think it's Alvin Comalong, getting across to that cross-field diagonal from Michael McGlinchey.
Eleven and a half minutes of the Nations Cup left to play. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0. Gavin Yava wins a header. Benemba's interested in this. Marinovich gets there first. Launched long by Marinovich. Fallon's up, so was Felix Comalong. Oh, and there's a chance! Moses Dyer! The flag's gone up. That was a well-worked move within the parameters of how New Zealand are playing this game. A long ball, flick on, and a run, but just have to watch the line.
And Dyer, it was a tight one, but Dyer ball just not getting to him quick enough. Not much Jeremy Brockie could do with speeding up that ball because it was bouncing. But as you say, Gordon, within the parameters of how they've approached the game, it was close.
There's a foul on Rojas. Marco Rojas is playing further forward, and he's just finding a pocket of space to pick the ball up in from these first phase wins, aerial wins from the likes of Brotherton and Adams. Papua New Guinea haven't picked that up just yet. Here's Louis Fenton. Semi. Oh dear, that was a poor one from Semi. Well, he's made up for it with that challenge, and New Zealand have an opportunity for a throw-in.
He's got to be careful though, Semi, doesn't he? 2 sliding challenges in that to rescue what he'd caused. Sitting on a yellow card. 10 to go.
New Zealand need big hearts from this set play. Boxall wires it in. Warasan's dropped it.
He did really well in the first instance, Warasan, and then he stone cold dropped it. Then it was panic. Drops it on the head, and David Musa with his arms spread wide, and the Roy Fallons just kicked him in the shin.
Muta. And Dyer concedes a free kick on halfway. Muta's taken it quickly. Daniel Joe pushing forward. Brotherton. Another free kick. Well, tempers are starting to fray, and you can understand why. The place at the FIFA Confederations Cup is up for grabs. There are huge financial rewards that come with winning this game tonight. And you can hear Sir John Guy Stadium with chants of Go PNG.
Again, not the delivery from Ganemba. He's got to just settle down. Hasn't had the influence that we've seen in previous matches, but that's to be expected. A much stronger New Zealand team than probably what they've come up against previously. Papua New Guinea, especially defensively.
Well, now with Papua New Guinea pressing, there are spaces for New Zealand to exploit, but they've given the ball away. They'll get it back with a throw-in for the restart.
I think Fleming Siritsev also, what he could do is he could get Semi to switch wings with Dabanyaba, give Tommy Semi, let him have a run at Kip Colby. Would be an option for the Dane.
Here's Rojas. And Rory Fallon tumbles to the ground. No major complaint from the New Zealand skipper. Dyer for McGlinchey, but Ganemba, the clever back heel. This is impressive from Papua New Guinea. Another back wheel. Play switch to the left. Tommy Semi. Long range shot, but really that was an unrealistic distance.
Oof. Got to be careful,
again,
Semi.
He's riding that fine line. That's a lovely ball by Rojas to pick out Colby. Fallon. There's two New Zealanders unmarked at the back post, but the offside flag's gone up. Not so sure about that one.
Kip Colby saying to his teammates, "You've got to get me the ball earlier." Well, he's well offside that time. Colby. It was a promising move as well. Rojas was forward, Fenton was forward. Unmarked on the back post, and I think that is an area also for New Zealand. Players ghosting around the back, because at times the Papua New Guinean defenders do ball watch. So there is chances to get round the back.
So we're inside the final 5 minutes. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0.
The other thing, I mean, from a New Zealand perspective, Papua New Guinea haven't really created chances. They've shaded the possession stats at the moment, just 53% for Papua New Guinea, but they're not using it to create clear-cut chances. They look dangerous, but they aren't opening up this New Zealand defence, which, as has been the case through the whole tournament, has been solid. He's only conceded 1 goal, the penalty in the game against Fiji.
That's a good ball. Foster, some tired legs. Some tired legs and giving away a free kick. Takes the pressure off New Zealand for the moment. Adams aims his free kick at skipper Rory Fallon. Here's Brocky. Marco Rojas has made a run to the edge of the penalty area. Time ticks on. And 1 goal, you get the feeling 1 goal will just settle it. And New Zealand will be looking to get it from this opportunity. They've pushed a lot of players forward for it. There are 6 forward in the penalty area. Marco Rojas lingers on the edge of the box. Oh, and Felix Comelon gets there. Warasan thought about it. Chance. Oh, good save by Warasan. He's taken a knock. Now David Mutz is pointing the finger in the direction of a New Zealand player.
I think they're looking at Michael Boxall here. I think that's where the protests are about. It was a good chance. Good free kick. Warasan came, didn't collect, didn't get anything on it. Comelong did. Brocky helped it back in, and it is Michael Boxall at the back here. Goes through. Had every right to go for the ball. But it was a good save from Warasan. Stayed strong and brave in there where the boots were flying.
Yeah, there was nothing untoward in that. And as you say, Boxall every right to go for the ball. But the goalkeeper bravely putting his body on the line for his teammates and his country.
I do think Papua New Guinea are starting to tire here, though. New Zealand are getting more of the ball. They're doing more with it. The play, as we watch the game, is being played more in the Papua New Guinean half than at other times. So I do think it is time for Fleming Seritslev definitely to start thinking about substitutions.
Manuel Simon gives it straight to Rojas. Semi. Play continues. The space ahead of Manuel Simon. Ganemba is past Adams. Davin Yaba's at the far post. Oh, and it's hooked clear by Brotherton. Nobody in a red shirt attacking the space in front of the New Zealand defender.
And again, it's the left peg of Ganemba. He drills that one across, and boy, they're bouncing across that penalty area.
Good take by Marinovic. Mr. Dependable. We're in the 90th minute of the Nations Cup final. Ritter and Dyer contesting the ball. 2 minutes of additional time to be played, minimum. And I think if this goes, if this goes to extra time, Anthony Hudson may well feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, he said his team are very well prepared physically for whatever they need to do, so they're going to get fully tested here. So they've used all 3 substitutions, so can't make any more of those changes to rest tired players. I do think Papua New Guinea are feeling the effects more than the New Zealand team just at the moment. Although the crowd may help them along in that regard.
It's a good win, and pass forward by McGlinchey intended for Brocky. Ganemba, Simon, Painga. Something of a careless throw in from Painga. Now, that's a good ball by Rory Fallon. Decent ball in by Brocky, but Warasan, oh dear me. Well, Mutta with a lovely touch, but his goalkeeper showing his continuing love affair with the eccentric. That's a good ball by Foster. Here's Ganemba, and McGlinchey goes into the book. If Ganemba had got another yard on McGlinchey, the New Zealand defence was opening up in front of the competition's top goal scorer with 3 teammates in front of him.
Well, this is as cynical a foul as you're ever going to see. Lovely back heels. And then McGlinchey, he knows he's not even going to get close to Ganemba, and just hacks him from behind.
Well, we're in the 3rd minute of additional time, and Papua New Guinea have a free kick if they were to score here.
Lights out.
It would be. Good punch by Marinovic. Chance for Semi. Oh, and he's blown it. He went for care over power. And that's it. Full time.
Could have backed himself, couldn't he, Tommy Semi? Ball just came back. In or out. Could have just let fly there. I think if he had his time again, he would have been way more positive. Boy, PNG, they've lived with New Zealand for 90 minutes. Now they've got an extra half hour to see if they can live with this New Zealand side, or even roll over the top of them. There must be some tired bodies there in red. They've virtually played the whole tournament. This Papua New Guinean side, Seritslev, he's only used 14 players in the matches so far. You can see Anthony Hudson there in the middle as the wet towels come out.
Well, gripping drama in the OFC Nations Cup final. No OFC Nations Cup final has gone to penalties.
Well, you've got to favour New Zealand if it goes to penalties, don't you? Stefan Marinovic in goal. And see Anthony Hudson there. Concentrate, thinking. Boy, what drama here in Port Moresby. I mean, really, who would have thought if the Papua New Guinea could have held New Zealand for 90 minutes?
Well, let's look at the highlights of this incredible game.
Well, the second half started with an absolute bang with Tommy Semi taking on Michael Boxall. That was the first one. Well, the long throw was pretty much one of the New Zealand team's main attacking weapons. This lovely interplay that Papua New Guinea do through the midfield areas. That was a feature of the second half. This time Raymond Guinemba, boy, if that had gone in, you'd call him Harry Houdini, because that was, it twisted himself in knots. It was a good chance for New Zealand. The header on the back post. Well, no shot like that's going to beat Stefan Marinovic in the form he's in at the moment. And again, it was New Zealand. Most of their attacks were of the aerial kind, looking to the back post. See here again, but too many times they got offside. Warasan is very acrobatic. I think he may be a key feature if this does go to penalties. Acrobatic and unorthodox, you'd probably call Ronald Warasan. Guinemba's been contained. You can see he has flashes of what he can do. But he's got 30 minutes more to show the Pacific region and wider what he can do with the ball. Raymond Guinemba, will he be the man to open up this New Zealand defence, or will it be a player in white?
Well, both teams taking the opportunity to huddle up and draw every last ounce of energy, team spirit, skill and ability to try and get over the line. 2 periods of 15 minutes of extra time, and then if we're level at the end of 2 hours, it's well, it's a penalty shootout and all the drama and intrigue associated with it. But half an hour to go. No activity on the Papua New Guinea bench yet. Long-range shot and comfortably saved by Marinovic again, with Guinemba and Dabanyaba very interested in any follow-up.
Absolutely had to hold on to this one, Marinovic, and he did. He's been super solid, has Marinovic in the goal. Not sure what Warasan is really doing, wasting time.
Bunchy jumping into the back of Manuel Simon, the ball, as ever, bobbling and popping up in midfield. Colby. Fallon helps it on to Brocky. Nice exchange between the two. So Boxall trots over to take this. Another long throw catapult. And Fallon is a target. Brocky is in there. Dyer's in there. It bounces. Rojas had a bit of a look at it. Colby over the top.
Did more shots than anyone. Kip Colby from left back. Again, the long throw. Ball just drops in the penalty area. And eventually rolls out to Colby, and under pressure. Again, 3 from 3 over the top from Kip Colby.
Well, I think Felix Cromwell might be unlucky there.
Just headed this into the back of Rory Fallon. But New Zealand pick up the throw. Play it short.
Here's Rojas. Releases Colby down the back. There's 4 New Zealanders in the box. Fallon over the top. A very well worked move by New Zealand, and a very good chance for the skipper Rory Fallon, who had the goal at his mercy.
Off a short throw. So laid into Rojas. Rojas makes the space, and Fallon leaps high, but let's see, can't get that one on target. And New Zealand have started this period of extra time much better than Papua New Guinea.
Comelong's missed it. Brocky helps it on. And if you miss it and your younger brother's there to back you up, that's always helpful. Felix doing the honours there.
I think Rojas is the key for New Zealand. Just watching him running around the pitch, he's starting to, as you've said previously, Gordon, he's starting to find space. If New Zealand can just get him the ball, and also I think he's starting to find some good attacking positions as well.
Well, Moses Dyer, this is a variation. Moses Dyer is now standing in front of the keeper for these long throws.
If you're Warasan, you can just run into the back of him.
McGlinchey and Rojas are a lot closer on the edge of the penalty area. Now Rojas goes to the back post, but that was a poor throw. Brotherton, McGlinchey, Fallon, now Brocky! Flags up. New Zealand knocking on the door.
And hooked forward by McGlinchey, touched on, and Brocky again too eager to get forward. Good call from the assistant referee on the far side. Comelong's, the cover came across so quick as well though. And handball by Tommy Semi. New Zealand just need to get the ball down, play it quickly. Luke Adams, just shuffle it on.
Well, Adams is going to launch this one. Felix Comelong wins it under pressure, but only as far as McGlinchey. This is Brotherton. Gets it at the second go. Muta. Well, it's aerial ping pong. Yaba. Fenton was making a good run down the right. It was an important header for Upanga to win.
Yeah, David Muta's been excellent this evening. He's been strong. He's not the biggest guy, but he's won so many headers in that central midfield area.
Here's space now for Rojas. He's past Muta. Well, Papua New Guinea are living on vapours now. They look content to just sit in and defend every ball. And then with a hopeful clearance, try and spark off a counter-attack and catch New Zealand with thin numbers at the back. Rojas again finding space. Now Moses Dyer. Given straight to Fenton now. Possibilities at the back post for New Zealand if the cross is good. Couldn't beat Talwin Comalong at the near post. There's a slip by Boxall. Ganemba. Well, Papua New Guinea's transition from their third to the middle third is just a little bit slow, and that's to New Zealand's credit. They've worked very hard throughout the tournament to get those lines right. Oh, now it's taken quickly. Foster's onside. There's the cross to the far post, and Yaba whips it back across. Oh, and here's a chance. Foster, if he can work it onto his right foot. Miscued the shot at the moment of truth.
Emmanuel Simon, well, it went from side to side, didn't it? Across Marinovic's goal. They were just trying to open up an avenue to get a shot away. Here's Yaba at the back post, taking on Colby.
That's flicked on. Brocky gives chase. Well, he's fought hard for it, but can't keep it in.
Emmanuel Simon there with the final shot.
Luke Adams pumping his fist on halfway, saying, come on. Demanding from his teammates more effort. Semi. Muta. That's a very good ball. There's work to be done by Fenton.
Good defending by Fenton. Very good defending. Had to time that challenge perfectly because Ganemba was in the box. Stuck out his toe to concede a corner. So everyone back for New Zealand. Some nervous faces in the crowd.
Well, just under 20 years ago, Papua New Guinea beat New Zealand by 1-0 in a World Cup qualifier here in Port Moresby. It was played at the Rugby League Stadium. Here tonight, it's 0-0. And extra time in the OFC Nations Cup final. There haven't been too many days to celebrate in Papua New Guinea football over the last few decades. And here tonight against New Zealand, they performed well enough, but they haven't scored the goal they crave so much.
A poor ball from Dyer there. New Zealand had the chance to break, but his pass straight to the opposition. And it was up to Boxall to get him to rectify the situation.
Yaba. And it's a corner. So just under 5 minutes of the first period of extra time left to play. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0. New Zealand have only ever lost one Nations Cup final that they've played in, and that was in Tahiti. They lost to Australia. Ball hoisted in, right on Marinovic, who stands strong. That's a good ball. Rojas against Upanga. Dyer has joined in the attack. Comalong's headed it clear. Papua New Guinea have opened up a hole right through the middle of the New Zealand defence. There's now a possibility down the left.
Gotta go left.
Guinea keeps his run going. Oh, and that's a poor end to what was a promising move.
Still full of running though, Raymond Guinea. Move swept from one end of the field to the other. Possibly shouldn't have run into the penalty area. He played the ball out to the left and then virtually followed his pass. But in the end, he's wasted that chance. You can see here, not really going to test Marinovic from there, are you?
Well, Papua New Guinea have come a long way in a short time. They were coached by Frank Farina 4 years ago, then Ricky Herbert last year. Winston Rufer also had a brief spell in charge. Now Flemming Seretslev of Denmark. Ball hoisted in to the edge of the box. Away by Felix Comalong, only as far as McGlinchey.
That's a good point you make there, Gordon, because they've had good coaching over the last number of years of Papua New Guinea. We talk about them being the surprise package, but they've had good coaching. You can see here they've got good players with skill and ability and pace. And now their latest coach, Seretslev, has given them the self-belief and also a bit of structure as well. A system of play where they're trying to be as positive as possible and use the skills that they've all got.
Oh, that's a good ball by Brocky. Chance for Rory Fallon, maybe. Well, he could have cut it back if he had got a shout from Louis Fenton, or if he was aware that Fenton was there. I'm not so sure that he was. They've got a corner, though. So just 1 minute to go in the first period of extra time. New Zealand 0, Papua New Guinea 0.
Good chances for New Zealand. They haven't had an attacking opportunity for a number of minutes.
Well, this is where Fallon, of course, is so strong.
Rojas, edge of the box as well.
Scored one of New Zealand's most important goals against Bahrain 7 years ago, back end of 7 years ago, Rory Fallon, and his country need him tonight.
Look how deep the Papua New Guinea players are standing inside the 6-yard box as well.
It's wound in. It's won by Upanga. Another corner. 30 seconds of the first period of extra time left to play. There are two footballs on the pitch. Upanga's not in any great hurry to see the second one away. Now, if New Zealand can attack this and get on the end of it, there could be a problem. Adams, chance! Oh, and it's wide from almost point-blank range.
What a chance for New Zealand. Back across the goal to Boxall, back across the goal to Brocky. Just too high for Jeremy Brocky to get this on target. You can see he's stretching as best he can. Just too high, and it's angled wide. It should just about be it for the first period of extra time.
Well, there's 1 minute additional time added on. Guinea against Boxall. Still going. Semi's unmarked in the penalty area, but that, again, is not well thought out by Guinea. There'll be no break here. Remember, this will be a straight switch. And then we'll be underway with the next 15 minutes of this extra time.
Papua New Guinea still haven't made a substitution. and they're not looking like they're going to make. No subs are warming up. So Fleming Seretslev just either keeping faith with what he's got, or he's just unconvinced about what he's got on the bench.
Well, the New Zealand players are going over to take on water, but this is just a straight swap. The teams have to restart as quickly as possible. And the New Zealand technical area has now got substitutes and doctors and physios, assistant coaches there too. The fourth official is inviting them to remove themselves. Goodness me, the next 15 minutes are so important for both nations and the future of their football.
Yeah, I mean, the loser here goes into a 4-year wilderness basically till the Nations Cup, the next edition of the Nations Cup, and the winner obviously goes on to the Confederations Cup and can build a program around their World Cup qualification, and should they be successful then also for the Intercontinental Playoff in November of 2017. I mean, for New Zealand, this is such an important moment. Saw in the last cycle our failure to qualify for the Confederations Cup basically put a massive hole in their preparation for the Intercontinental Playoff.
That's a lovely ball by Semi for Ganemba. And again, slides it into the near post.
Needed to pull their back. Foster was completely unmarked inside the penalty area there. I think Ganemba was trying to square it back for him. Couldn't get the angle on it.
Allen keeps it in. Brocky keeps the move going somewhat. He was trying to play that into Rojas. Daniel Joe. Tight mind by Joe. He was just trying to play Dabanyaba in behind Colby. So on we go. Tension ratcheted up. Papua New Guinea Sporting Public saw their under-23 team win a bronze medal and end a 46-year wait for any sort of football medal in the Pacific Games last year. But I doubt they've seen any sort of drama the equal of this. Hikari United beat Waitakere United to qualify for the FIFA Club World Cup in 2010, but you can hardly compare the two, although it was a welcome boost to club football in this country.
Again, Boxall goes for the long throw option.
Hoisted in. It's hit Mutta, there's Brocky. Got under it and up into the air it went, and wide of the target by quite some distance. It's not been his night so far.
The Jeremy Brocky, it's exactly the sort of chance that he probably wants, because such a clean striker of the ball. He does get opportunities like that, and he can score some wonderful goals. And boy, how badly do New Zealand need one of those at the moment.
Complete miscue by Marinovic. Haven't seen too many unforced errors from him over the course of the competition. Rojas. Oh, lovely from Mutta.
Love the way that Papua New Guinea, no matter where they are on the field, they have the freedom to do a flick, to do a back heel.
Manuel Simon Daniel Joe. Dabinyaba. They've punctuated periods of this game with that freedom of expression, and it's been a delight to watch. The combination play at times has been super. Foster, there's a back heel. Papua New Guinea trying to work themselves an opportunity on the edge of the penalty area. Down goes Dabinyaba. He's recovered. Guinea trying to hit the byline. Cross straight into the gloves of the keeper. Too close to him. If he can find
the angle, then Papua New Guinea, you'd think, would be in. Tommy Semi was on the 6-yard box there, waiting for the ball from Guinea.
New Zealand with 5 players forward, but they've given the ball away. So have Papua New Guinea.
Team's got to be stronger there.
Here's Moses Dyer, checks onto the right foot. Fenton's unmarked here. So is Brocky. Sound headed by Daniel Joe, but that's another big touch. Semi fortunate to get away with it. He decides to go long in behind Brotherton, who sticks a leg out. Mutta. Some very tired legs in both teams. Mutta's measured that very well. Joe's into the penalty area, over the cross goes, but nobody attacking the ball at the back post.
Well, Papua New Guinea getting stretched here. I mean, great attack by Daniel Joe, getting right down the right flank, but Papua New Guinea in the midfield are starting to get stretched. They're getting really tired. Getting great run by the right fullback. Fenton just happy to let that one go over the sideline. I actually think New Zealand are quite content with penalties here, given the quality of the keeper they have between the sticks. Still no sign of a sub from Papua New Guinea.
No, well, whatever the result, when this one is looked back on, there'll be no doubting the bravery, courage and effort of Papua New Guinea. Now here's Marco Rojas with a chance to express himself, and he's got a free kick. Marco Rojas at his most dangerous best, running at teams, and with tired legs, flicking out, always the potential to pick up a free kick. Now Michael McGlinchey has scored from a free kick in the competition against Vanuatu.
See Rojas there, light on his feet. Probably a match for some of the Papua New Guinean players, how light he is on his feet. And now McGlinchey, will he go direct at goal here? I think he will. Probably just within his range. Warasan has to be at his best.
Michael McGlinchey has to be at his.
Key moment this in the contest.
And the follow-up will be important as well if one's required. Michael McGlinchey, New Zealand born of Scottish extraction, with one of the most important free kicks of his career. And it goes over the top, and Sir John Guy Stadium erupts with approval.
Well, he was hoping for similar to what he did against Vanuatu. Was nowhere near that sort of quality. Warasan needs to concentrate on what he's doing. Oh, here, pace.
Brotherton in problems. Now Dabinyaba. He's got Foster unmarked to his left. He's picked him out. They've let it run. Appeals for a handball. New Zealand were in all sorts of trouble there. Now Adams breaks clear. Ganemba picks it up. Mutta.
End to end now. Chances to just slice open the opposition defence. Good work from Boxall. Smart play. Boy. And finally a substitution for Papua New Guinea.
Jacob Sabua is replacing Manuel Simon. We've seen that throughout the competition. Simon started the first game, Sabua the second, and they've been exchanged ever since. But now we're heading into the final 5 minutes. Fallon's header, Muta's header, Foster, Ganemba. Oh, good exchange. New Zealand just hanging on here. And Semi, again, what was he thinking? Michael Foster.
All that's good and all that's bad about PNG football there. The one touch through the midfield, the beautiful skills, and then this, the other extreme, the absolute rush of blood. With the crowd ringing in his ears, Tommy Semi thought, try and hang that one up in the corner. Hang it up in row Z.
Davanyaba, Daniel Joe making a run on the outside. New Zealand just content to get the ball out of their back line. Long range shot from Semi. That was much better. But still from that distance against a quality goalkeeper, that is a big ask.
If Papua New Guinea just get the ball wide here, because we saw it just before, they have the pace to completely outdo the New Zealand defenders. Brotherton can't live with Dabanyaba.
Rojas here to go straight to Foster. And Ganemba, who normally shows interest in those types of passes, is just walking. So here's Brocky. Free kick taken quickly. Muta, Sabua, first touch of the ball for him. Now Daniel Joe springing forward. Well, it's Ganemba who receives a yellow card.
Yeah, Ganemba picks up a yellow card for diving. He'd lost control of the ball. See here, he'll get a touch on it, and then acting like he's been clipped by Brotherton. 3 to go. A goal to win it.
Long ball launched forward. Fallon's under it, and there's a foul spotted. Well, it's quite incredible. There is not one full-time professional in this Papua New Guinea team, and they have soldiered on for nearly 2 hours, albeit with home advantage, albeit with a big parochial crowd behind them. But nevertheless, however this game finishes, they will have done themselves proud. Sabua, Ganemba, still going Ganemba, Semi. Oh, and a timely block, because I tell you what, the power on that ball might have been too much even for Marinovic.
Well, Ganemba's twisting and turning on the edge of the box. Again, so quick on his feet. The ball falls. Semi with spins in the tackle. And it's Fenton who gets across. New Zealand hanging on in the last couple of minutes. As you say, Gordon, what a performance. What a performance by this Papua New Guinean side.
The corner kick for Papua New Guinea, Sabua to take it. The Comalong brothers will be the targets, but any player in red will do this. Noisy audience who have been thrilled by the performance of their team. It's gone to the near post, and Ganemba in frustration lashes it into the side netting. And I think, Fred, that
Must be about the 5th or 6th time we've seen Ganemba hit the ball on. He must have scored one like that 5 years ago.
Well, this is interesting. This is Leslie Carlisle in your picture. He's the 3rd choice goalkeeper. He was a goalkeeper for Papua New Guinea in the Nations Cup in 2012 when they finished 7th. But he is a very good shot stopper, I can tell you. 32 years of age, and Fleming Seretslev might have one last trick up his sleeve if, and a big if, his team can hang on to take it to penalties. Marinovic and maybe Leslie Carlisle emerging as, well, undoubtedly they will if it goes that far, key figures. Just 1 minute of additional time to be played at the end of the 2nd period of extra time in the Nations Cup final.
Last chance for New Zealand.
There's a long throw. Fallon gets a touch. Here's an opportunity, maybe. Gentle header back into the arms of Warasan. Well, Seretslev doesn't want to get caught out like Fiji did here in the Pacific Games last year. If he is to bring on Leslie Carlisle, he might have to get it processed pretty shortly, or maybe he won't need to. Tommy Semi.
They need to get the ball out if they want to do that.
Here's Upaiga up.
Goes square.
Now Daniel Joe. Can Papua New Guinea maybe pinch this at the last? Well, Daniel Joe was maybe worth a crack, but it was an easier ball to Sabua. There it is all over. The Nations Cup, for the first time in its 43-year history, is going to penalties.
Well, Fleming Seretslev is having an absolute go at the 4th official. He wanted to make the substitution when the ball went out there, but they haven't allowed him to do it.
Well, this happened at the Pacific Games last year. Fiji were trying to do something similar. And now it comes down to the nerve in football's most daunting test. A penalty shootout. The winner goes to the FIFA Confederations Cup in Russia next year. They will be crowned Oceania champions. And all the glory and financial reward that comes with it belongs to whoever can get through the next 20 minutes or so of penalty kicks. Fred.
Of drama, of absolute drama. Well, we've seen the New Zealand team in training practicing their penalties, forming 2 teams and going through the whole routine of walking from the halfway line, walking up, taking the penalties, making it a real competition. But one thing that doesn't do, it just does not recreate the atmosphere here at Sir John Guy Stadium.
Well, in fairness, I said before that this Papua New Guinea team doesn't have one single full-time professional in its ranks, and New Zealanders are not completely professional, of course, in regard to the level that they play at. But nevertheless, there is a real difference at the levels that the 2 teams operate at. Stefan Marinovic gets a pat on the back from Luke Adams and Tamati Williams, who has some experience of penalty shootouts, of course, with his former club Auckland City at the Club World Cup in Morocco 2 years ago, giving some last minute encouragement. I doubt it would be advice. I'm sure Marinovic knows exactly how he has to go about this.
For the 3rd time they do the toss. Before the game, before extra time, and now before penalties.
Well, critics of the OFC Nations Cup have said that this tournament was a waste of time, and I think that emphatically across the board. It's been a thrill to watch, and it's going to end that way.
What a job that man's done. Clearing Siritslev. Really understands the culture here in Papua New Guinea. Got the best out of his side throughout the tournament. Knows his players. Has said repeatedly, every time you talk to him, how committed his players are to the cause. And it looks like, I think it's New Zealand that will shoot first.
Well, Papua New Guinea deep in prayer. Rory Fallon has the ball. He will take the first penalty kick. New Zealand wait. As do we all. There is some degree of disapproval from the New Zealand technical area with just how long Papua New Guinea are taking to collect themselves. Ronald Warasan about to face the music.
Well, quite good tactics this from Papua New Guinea. Just leave Rory Fallon standing out on his own, looking at the goal. There he is. Pressure building. Here comes Warasan.
Well, Rory Fallon, who's a part of a famous football family in New Zealand with a long history and legacy of success. And he leads from the front with the first penalty kick. Well, gamesmanship now becoming a part of the proceedings. It's Fallon against Warasan. The first penalty kick of the shootout. Fallon scores. He hit it with power. Warasan went the right way, but there was too much on it. 1-0 to New Zealand.
Well hit penalty by Rory Fallon. Warasan was jumping around on the goal line, and then the ball's flowing past him at pace. And it's Upainga that'll be the first for Papua New Guinea.
Korea Upainga of Hikari United. He's won plenty of domestic titles. He was part of the team that won the OFC Champions League 6 years ago. Now, a test. Marinovic with New Zealand's hopes in his gloves. Upainga for Papua New Guinea. Good save! Wonderful save by Marinovic. Despair for Korea Upainga. And New Zealand have an advantage.
What a save by Marinovic. Full stretch. This one was going just inside the post. Oh no, it wasn't. Sorry. Take that back. Poor penalty. Poor penalty. And Marinovic guesses the right way at a comfortable height. And now Michael McGlinchey steps up.
So you'd back Michael McGlinchey from this distance and this type of test. Technically gifted player with loads of professional experience. He will be as cool as a cucumber, you'd imagine, despite the theatre before us. Warasan against McGlinchey, and that's a good penalty. New Zealand 2-0 up after 2 penalties. some relief for McGlinchey nonetheless.
And now massive pressure on Tommy Semi. McGlinchey sends the keeper the wrong way, pulls that one across his body, consolidates the advantage for New Zealand. Semi has to score.
Yes, the advantage will swing heavily in favour of New Zealand if Marinovic can pull off a save from Semi. Well, he struck it well. Papua New Guinea on the board. 2-1. 2 kicks apiece. The long walk back to halfway, eased by the knowledge that he scored.
Semi steps up. To the keeper's left, the keeper went right.
Moses Dyer.
Papua New Guinea on the board.
Dyer came on as a substitute. He played in New Zealand's 3rd match. Warasan has yet to make a save for Papua New Guinea. Now Dyer. Very well taken penalty. New Zealand must now sense that they're getting closer. 3-1 they lead.
Dyer steps up. Warasan doesn't really go either way, just goes forward. And Dyer puts New Zealand 3-1 up. Again, the pressure, all the pressure on Papua New Guinea. They have to stay with New Zealand if they're going to claw their way back.
Well, it's Michael Foster. The last international spot kick that he took was against the Solomon Islands back in March in a 2-1 win. And his country need him to replicate that here. But he's taking it against a very informed goalkeeper. Marinovic gets close, but Foster, calm as you like, puts the ball in the net, 3-2.
Marinovic goes the right way. Man, that's a great penalty. A great attempt by Marinovic as well. Papua New Guinea hanging on.
Jeremy Brockie. His 49th international cap for New Zealand. He's got the experience. He stays calm. Oh, he's missed it. Can you believe it? Jeremy Brockie has failed to hit the target, and the match now is in the balance.
Well, Brockie has given Papua New Guinea a chance to draw level again. And it's Raymond Ganemba.
Now it's Raymond Ganemba. Ganemba for Papua New Guinea. Oh, he's hit the post. I think Marinovic got a glove on it. And the stadium falls silent. A huge moment. A huge opportunity. And the competition's top goal scorer.
And I do think Marinovic gets a glove on this, just a touch. Yes, the faintest of touches, and he touches it onto the post. Stefan Marinovic puts New Zealand one kick away from Nations Cup glory.
It's Marco Rojas with New Zealand one kick away from the FIFA Confederations Cup next year. There it is! New Zealand have won on penalties. Marco Rojas confirms their place in Russia next year. It's been a dramatic match and a dramatic competition. And to New Zealand, the spoils. 2 hours of football couldn't separate Papua New Guinea and New Zealand. The penalty kicks have done so in the cruelest of fashion. But New Zealand, through Stefan Marinovic, have stayed strong when the blowtorch was on sensitive parts, and they've triumphed. For Papua New Guinea, there is a lot of despair, and there's a lot of tears too, I can tell you. Sportingly, the New Zealand technical area has gone to the Papua New Guinea technical area, and there is some consoling being done down there, and that is a show of class after what was an epic football match. Might not have been the most pure football display. I don't think we can get away from that truth, but in terms of the human drama and the narrative that unfolded, you could not fault it for excitement, and well, that was that was gripping stuff, wasn't it, Fred?
Oh, amazing scenes here at Port Moresby. Well, Papua New Guinea, they've absolutely given their all through this entire tournament. It was not to be, and in the end, it was the goalkeepers that made the difference. Stefan Marinovic saving 2 of the penalties. Warasan couldn't equal that feat, and it's New Zealand